as we do every episode, we review a movie that we saw in the new titled segment, Share the Review. You ready?
Ready.
Alright, the last movie, or I guess it was the last movie we saw, was Nobody's Fool. To sum up, what did you think about Nobody's Fool?
This movie was lackluster.
Wiggity, got you.
It was lackluster, you know.
It was wiggity.
I like Tiffany Haddish, but it wasn't the greatest of a movie. It's predictable, and everything was just like you would expect out of a Tyler Perry movie. Just nobody in.
This movie was wiggity. And let's count the reasons why. Now, what I'm about to talk about this movie is you would think it's the worst movie I saw of the year. But
it was your favorite.
It definitely wasn't.
It was definitely one of your favorites.
I'm about to, all of my, what's the word?
I don't know, you're struggling.
I always struggle with words. For a journalism major, I'm pretty bad with words. But, no Jason Bateman. Because Jason Bateman got a movie called Bad Words.
Okay.
Anyways, before I start trying to think of the words, for me not being able to think of words, I'm going to just go straight into this review.
Let's do that.
So I took a bunch of notes for this movie. This is how you know this movie was whack. So this movie, like you said, stars Tiffany Haddish, Tika Sumpter, Amari Ghost Hardwick, and some other people. So first off, what stuck out to me immediately with this movie is Amari Hardwick's character, Frank, I believe his name was. He was the worst businessman. He was dumb, and he was racist. Now let me explain why.
I don't think he was racist.
He was racist. Now I'm about to explain why. Tika Sumpter's character would come in every morning and get coffee. He would let her skip the line. When we first saw her skip the line, she was skipping a line of white people. Racism.
But she skipped it before when there was black people.
Yeah, but I'm saying the first time we saw her.
He skipped the line because he liked her.
Yeah,
that wasn't racist, Nathan.
The first time we saw her was a bunch of white people. And he's dumb because he keeps giving this lady free coffee that do not want him at this point of the movie.
True.
And a rose.
True, but I mean, it's only one customer. I'm pretty sure it's not going to take my business.
But he's doing this every day.
Still won't take him out of business for
don't
one
care. That's
customer.
dumb.
Especially if she's getting a simple coffee, like just a drip coffee. Drip coffee's pretty cheap. So.
But she don't want him at this point in the movie, so he looks wild. He looks stupid.
But I'm just saying.
Alright, so we had that point. Then Michael.
What stood out to me was him wearing his glove the entire movie. He wore one glove with fingers cut out on one hand entire movie. On one hand, the entire movie with the fingers cut out.
Why? I seen him.
No, he only had it once. I searched for it to see if I ever.
Maybe that was a character trait that he wanted to develop.
That was dumb. What was he developing? There was no reason.
Some people just like to add these little character niches, even though it won't be brought up in the story. It gives them their character, something.
That didn't get a character nothing. That was stupid.
All right, then we moving on. Tiffany Haddish gets out of jail. Who do we see? Cameo by Michael Blackson.
Ugh.
Do you think that was a funny cameo?
No.
Really?
It could have been anybody. I wouldn't have missed him being there, no.
I thought it was pretty
It kind of seemed kind of awkward.
Oh, it was funny. It was nice and quick. It wasn't hilarious, but I laughed. It was quick. Got it in, got it out. Boom. As the movie continued, I'm starting to notice a trend with Tyler Perry movies, because this is a Tyler Perry movie. If anybody doesn't know, it's his first R-rated comedy, though. Because he's made R-rated movies, but this is his R-rated comedy. But I started to notice a trend. His scores in his movies are all the same.
What do you mean his scores?
Like
the music. Oh, yeah, I didn't notice.
Yeah, because it's so generic, it just blends in with the background of all his movies.
That's generic black people music.
It's not even generic black people music. It's just generic Tyler Perry, all his movie music. And I feel like he just has like this computer that he like got a software from. He just used the music from the software, which is usually always generic. And then I'm also watching a movie. When Tiffany Haddish first gets out of jail, she got those two little braids in her hair.
Yeah.
Who does she look like?
I don't know.
You know.
I don't.
Queen Latifah from Set It Off.
What she does.
That's all I saw when she had those.
You're so weird. That's not what she looked like.
That's all I saw when she had those braids.
That's just you saying everybody looks.
All right, when you go back and watch it, when she had the bride's the bride dress gown, whatever those things are called.
Queen Latifah she had more braids. She had cornrows.
I know, but all I saw in that scene was Queen Latifah. She just reminded me of her so much. All right, then we pushing forward into the movie. We have a nice. I'm just saying. We got a nice catfish moment with Neve and Max, who are the hosts of Catfish. Max not really anymore.
Awkward. It was awkward. They didn't need to be there.
You think that was funny?
Not really.
Why?
I mean, she was a little funny when she was like trying to flirt with him, but like at one point Max said, "You've been catfished." It just seemed so forced the way he said it.
I think that was in their defense, I think that was the point of that in the movie.
I guess.
That's why they the camera hung on him for that moment, and they looked at him all like, "Really, Max?"
Oh, I guess because it just seemed very forced, and I don't know.
I mean, in a way.
And sometimes I guess like some of her behavior on them seemed kind of forced too, but it was okay.
Her whole performance in this movie, while she was the clear best part of the movie, she overdid it a lot of the time. I feel like
they made her do it that way, and I feel like she can do better than that. I feel like because of what they were telling her to do, it kind of threw off who she is.
And she probably realized like, oh, this movie sucks. I gotta really act out in order for this movie to be decent. But I thought the catfish moment was cool. Like it added some. I am bad with words today.
I don't know, Nathan, because I don't know what you're trying to say.
I'm dropping the ball, but it just added something to the movie. Brought it more to real life, so you could actually compare it to something, because they were dealing with catfishing. The storyline dealt with catfishing, so to have the staple of catfishing, as in the TV show, play a little part of the movie, I thought it was cool, and they didn't overdo it. It didn't last like the whole movie. So
yeah, that didn't do that whole movie.
And so, we watching the movie, and we're up to like the middle. I'm really starting to pay attention to the dramatics in this movie. Like everything was.
Everything was dramatic.
Yeah, like the storyline, all the shifts in the storyline were dramatic. Characters acted dramatic. Winston, don't mess with it. Like when Tiffany Haddish's character's name was Lincoln. Yikes. Tanya. When she left her sister's house the first time and said she got kicked out. That's not what happened. She left because of an argument, and that argument escalated very quickly.
Yeah.
That's just the scene of dramatics when she put on the bride's dress, and she wanted to fight her sister fresh out of jail, just because her sister yelled at her.
Dramatic too. Yeah, you should have put on a dress. It's kind of messed up to put on the wedding dress that she got for a failed engagement. Yeah, that's kind of rude. So. But
the fact that her sister yelled at her ridiculously, and then she wanted to fight her sister, she got all aggressive. That was a scene where Tiffany Haddish was overdoing it because it seemed so dramatic. We get it, you just came out of jail, but the forced laugh that was placed upon that moment just seemed dramatic to me. What's her name? Danica or whatever she was called in the movie.
Oh.
How she was treating Frank a lot of times just seemed ridiculous, and his ability to just brush that off and just continue on after her was ridiculous, and that felt dramatic to me because it just was like forced. It was like they do this
Everything was forced.
Yeah, they do this ridiculous thing, but they want the storyline to go a certain way. So no matter how ridiculous the thing they do, they force the person to act how the story wants them to act, instead of making it seem like this could actually happen, and this also is what the story says should happen. If that makes sense. Another
Tried.
One. It might make sense to one person. Alright, then we keep moving forward. Chris Rock had a surprise cameo in this movie. Did you think that was funny?
Not really. He was just there. Like, it could have been anybody else.
Well, I don't think it could be anybody else. It could have been somebody else, but it wouldn't have been the same type of humor because he really delivered his Chris Rock style jokes.
I guess. Like I said, this movie was just meh. Just wouldn't end. So when cameos happened and things happened, I was like, okay.
So he ended up being Charlie, who was
one version of Charlie, which also when the real
up to this point
he was Charlie.
And he was Charlie, which was the name of Danica's over the phone romance, aka the person who catfished her.
Yeah. So
the reveal of Charlie at this point was like, oh, we figured it was a lie, and this is who it actually was. But I was upset. I thought it was dumb. I thought Chris Rock was funny, but I thought it was dumb how they kind of just like delivered that he was Charlie. He didn't feel any remorse about it. He was just basically acting completely different the way he acted on the phone, and the way you would think somebody would act a certain way when they get caught. He just was basically like, "Oh, yeah, I got caught. I don't care. I'm just making jokes. Blah 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 blah." So up until this point, it felt very stupid how they delivered the Charlie reveal.
Yeah.
I guess I thought it was dumb, unapologetic, blah 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 blah. They felt like at this point it just felt like they gave you the reveal, but they were more focused on laughs than making it seem realistic.
Like a real reveal, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've seen Catfish, it doesn't just, it's not like that.
Yeah, it
wasn't real life.
Right, that's why I was like, this is dumb. But once you watch the movie,
dumb.
you realize there was a point to that. But another little nitpick I had with the movie, they constantly, movie took place a lot in Danica's apartment, and they constantly showed outside of her apartment because she had a big old view.
And you could just tell it was a picture that was being changed.
Yeah.
It didn't look like outside.
At all. And it was just bothering me.
A picture that was brightened, a picture that was dark, and a picture that was darker. Like, it was 3 pictures that kept getting changed.
Like, Tyler Perry, I know you shooting this at your little studio at home, or at your own little studio that you
couldn't
own.
have something that was actually outside.
Yeah,
like,
something. Computer generate some graphics from outside. Like, I know this movie ain't a big budget or nothing, but come on.
It looked bad.
That
Jeez, don't put her in an apartment. Put her on something else then. So she didn't have to live in an apartment. We didn't care. You could live in a nice house.
She didn't have to have an apartment that had a view.
That either, yeah.
You didn't have the windows open.
It looked bad.
It really was. Like that's my computer scanning, doing my annual scans.
Okay.
Okay. All right, moving forward to another scene or another moment, or just element that bothered me, was the love making scene.
Oh my gosh, it was so long.
The fact that it was long, but I think it felt long because it was excruciatingly uncomfortable how it was shot. I don't ever want to see Tyler Perry direct one of those type of scenes ever again.
Plus, you were sitting right beside your mom.
Yeah, okay, but the faces, he was like zooming in on the faces Amari Hardwick was making, and it's just, so without like sound, all we heard was music, so without sound, it just those moan faces, and it looked so stupid and comical.
It was just too long, there was too many positions, we didn't need to see all that.
It was comical. People in the theater started laughing. I was about to explode in laughter, but I was trying to contain myself, but I was like, oh, this is bad.
I just wanted it to stop.
This is
and it was like, it would go dark, so I thought it was over, and then nope, it's just new position. Like, no, just be done. We don't need to see.
It reminded me of The Room.
I was thinking of the Brie Larson movie.
Nah, the better version.
That's not the better version.
It's the more
I
memorable
don't know what
movie.
you're talking about now.
Lie and say it's not a more memorable movie.
I like the other one.
But is it more memorable?
Badly. It's infamous.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's more memorable, so. Now let's move on to Tika Sumpter and her acting. Did you like it?
No, she was annoying. It was all fake. It was all super fake, and so was her friend. Everything was fake. All of their acting was fake, and I didn't like it.
I thought her, like, acting normal, like just acting just regular, was fine. But the scenes where she would try to do it up for the moment, like when she was acting in denial, trying to play off like something wasn't bothering her, or showing like she was upset, those moments I felt like she was trying way too hard, and I thought it just came off very bad. So a lot of this, when the acting was bad, don't be yawning like I'm over here boring you. You tired?
I told you that.
Yawning for the people. They gonna about to like shut this off. She ain't even interested.
I'm interested, but I told you before we filmed.
I don't care. You hold that yawn in.
I can't hold a yawn in.
I don't care if your body has to explode.
So you want me to explode all over the place?
That'd be better. That'd be better, like visually.
That's gross. Ooh, got a shiver.
But yeah, the bad acting moments were really just when they were trying too hard. And when they tried too hard, it really showed.
I feel like her friend though wasn't even trying hard, and I still don't like her acting.
Yeah,
and when she would react to something that Tika Sumpter's character said, wow, like it just seemed like.
Yeah, well, this was her. I believe.
Whoa or wow or whatever she did, like it just seemed bad.
In her defense, I believe this was her first movie.
But she acted before.
First major role in a movie.
But has she acted before?
Yeah, I mean.
Wasn't she like? What was she in?
I'm just going off. I watched Tyler Perry's interview on some late night show, and I believe he said this was either her first role or her first major role. So it was her first something. So that's the only thing I can give in her defense. But yeah, she did. Hers was the opposite. It came off like she wasn't trying that hard. She was just like chill and mellow at some points. All right, so at this time, I think we're at the end of the movie. So when I think we're at the end of the movie, it still feels long.
Going.
So like at this point, Frank and Danica are now, they go through the whole story of the movie, blah blah, and they end up getting into like a little slight relationship, and we have the montage scene where they're hanging out, going skating at the park, all that. So I think we're at the end of the movie because it feels like we went through a lot up to the point. So I felt like, all right, he finally got the girl after not feeling like he was going to get her. Movie's over. Nope. That's when we're hit with the Charlie reveal that the Charlie she was talking on the phone.
Charlie's actually real.
Yep. And when that happened...
That didn't make sense to me.
Why?
Because when Charlie was revealed, he came in and he was like, well, I had really bad credit and my phone number has always been in my coach's name, who was supposedly Chris Rock.
Oh, then he said he was like,
and then he called her. Yeah, like, yeah. What? When did he ever contact her? I'm confused.
They didn't.
That didn't make sense. Their stories don't make sense. It doesn't line up.
Yeah, when he said he contacted you, that's when he lost me. I was like, huh?
Why did he contact her? And when did he contact her?
When was him contacting her
versus you contacting her? I was just confused.
It was stupid. And
then he was like, well, my phone's just been in his name since forever. You are a whole grown man now, at least in your 30s or 40s. You ain't been in college for a while, bro. Why haven't you got your own phone by now?
Maybe you just forgot. I don't know.
It just, his reveal didn't make sense. She's
been
in a couple of, well, not that much, but she's been in a few things.
But I was too busy focused on the fact that I was like, they just revealed another big thing at this point in the movie where I felt like it should have been over.
Late. Yeah, it was like, why are we revealing something else? Why?
So when you feel like a movie should have been ended and they reveal a twist.
Right, now you gotta go back to get that twist fixed. It's like, oh gosh, we got a whole other part.
Exactly, so you like, oh, we got a whole other part of the movie, a whole other section of the movie to get over with.
Actor or whatever, like what? I thought we were done.
Yeah. So if you have the feeling when you're watching a movie that it should have been in it and then they hit you with a twist, you're not gonna enjoy that twist because you're at the point where like that twist shouldn't even came up, and I thought it added too much to the story and made it worse.
He did make it worse because he did not do a good job in my opinion.
Right, and then so now Danica wants to see where this goes with this Charlie, the guy she's been talking to for a year, basically called her soulmate. So then she treats Frank as if he should understand. Which is
disrespectful.
And yeah, like he's just a friend.
She didn't even treat him like he should understand. She
was
that's
just
what she said.
Rude. She was very rude to him, but I'm saying to her friend, she was saying he should understand, but she didn't convey that to him.
And even the way that she was explaining it to her friend, though, was like, oh, he should just understand because I had a list. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I've been talking to this guy. He's been in my life for a whole year and a half or what have you.
Yeah, she didn't explain it.
No, her thing was, I just had a list and he fits the list.
Yeah, they were really egging on this list.
Yeah, that was disrespectful. Like, I could kind of understand, you have been talking to this man every day for a year and a half straight, texting, talking to him every day. You've only been with the other guy for, 2 to 3 months is what she said? Mm-hmm. Whatever, it was a short amount of time. I can understand that because that guy's been in your life for so long, and it's not like you really broke up. It's just he disappeared. But don't get me wrong, she still should have treated Frank like that. She should have told them both what it was when it happened, when she met him.
She should have, but she didn't, and she sucks.
Yeah, the way that it played out was stupid.
And then so she goes on the date with Charlie to see, if they have the chemistry or whatever. And it turns out Charlie has an awful personality.
Which also makes no sense. You've been talking and texting to this guy every day for a year. There's no way that your personality completely changes because you're in person and over the phone.
Yeah, what are y'all talking about on the phone?
Exactly.
He's not talking about this type of stuff over dinner. It's completely different.
That didn't make any sense to me. Like, your personality is not completely flipped because you're in person.
And he basically really didn't want her because after they hooked up at the hotel.
He called her an Uber. Not even like her own solo, like Uber X. No, Uber carpool.
Uber X? You were fancy? He made a
He's
good
supposed point. He's supposed to have money.
He made a good point. He said, Uber pool, you get out of here, and you get to meet some friends.
No, he's supposed to have money because that was on her list, right? The list was, what did her list say?
That means he really didn't care about her.
Her list said at least mid-6 figures. So if he had at least mid-6 figures money, No, it should have been no darn Uber carpool.
She was wilding with that list, but that's a whole nother subject.
That list was ridiculous. I don't even talk about this list. But, like, just how his personality completely changed, and it's not something that you didn't notice in a year that you like his personality, that didn't make sense.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the other unrealistic.
And if you really didn't want her, why were you looking for her for the whole 3 months when y'all fell off? Like, that didn't make sense either. Like, oh, I was searching for you, I called all these places, but then I'm coming and hit it and leave. Like, that didn't make any sense.
The adding Charlie
weird.
to the movie was dumb.
That
in
was
all
weird.
facets. So we just said she had a list in the movie. The movie had a nice little message with, you know, the whole list, and can't really find a good guy based on a list, but it was just conveyed in a long, flawed manner, and we've seen movies already where they deal with women and their lists when it comes to men.
Just the way that she acted on the list was so dumb to me, and like the way that she explained it to not even both the guys, the way she tried to explain stuff to Frank was stupid.
Alright, then we have...
And no remorse when she first did it, not at all.
We have the cabin scene at the end where...
So predictable.
Yeah, predictable singing scene happens.
So predictable.
Where Danica is singing outside to Frank, reminiscent of a conversation that they had earlier in the movie.
By the way, all of their conversations seem so fake engineered. Like when they were sitting in the house having those conversations, like everything started out with, whoa, wait, you can't be serious. Like that's how their conversation started out each time. It was so bad. Like, whoa, wait, you can't be serious. Oh my. Like it was...
It's called...
That was weird.
Writing.
Like, that made their conversation seem so weird and forced.
It's just bad. This is a Tyler Perry movie. It doesn't surprise me.
That doesn't seem like a real conversation somebody would have, like, staying up all night talking, like, it...
It's a Tyler Perry movie. It should not surprise you.
It was...
But what bothered me about that cabin scene was she wasn't embarrassing herself because there was nobody to see her. She was in the woods.
Facts.
He would see her, but then... He let her sing out there for a while in the rain.
He did. It seemed so long.
Yeah, they kept doing it way too many cut back and forths. But what made me mad was when he finally came out, he came out grinning immediately. Before the door even opened, he had a big smile. Like,
right, and it wasn't even like, you know...
Like, make her fight more for her. She treated you like crap up until this point.
Exactly.
Which brings me to me having a strong hatred for them two characters, Frank and Danica.
Frank he was just obsessed for some reason. That's all he wanted was her. No matter what she did, I want her. Like, I'm sorry, she was a jerk.
This is Ghost. Amari Hardwick should...
That was Ghost after jail, Nathan.
I don't know if I should blame him.
He got soft.
I don't know if I'm blaming him or I'm blaming the fact that I feel like people ain't offering him movie roles that he deserves. Because he's a good actor. But if he has to settle for doing terrible movies like this, with terrible characters like this...
acting in Power is questionable to me, but it's cool.
I think he's a good actor.
Not horrible. It's just like sometimes, you know.
He might have his moments, but he deserves better movies than this.
Sometimes.
That's just writing.
Those scenes get really
it's
like, really.
It's writing.
What do they call each other? Like
I don't even want.
They kept saying like babe or something, like just after every word when they talk to each other, and it was so annoying.
Yeah, it's writing. But
we get your couple.
So I hate them two characters. I hate his character because he was such a simp and he was letting her step all over him. And I hate her character because she was just so rude. But then when it was convenient for her to want him, she wanted him. And he's such a simp that he didn't really fight her that much on it. And it's just...
Right, no matter what she did, he figured her in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it just drove me insane. So all in all, what else do you want to say about this movie before we rate it?
There was something else that I want to talk about this movie. I can't remember. I think I already talked about the conversations just seemed forced. I guess that's all I can think of.
Alright, so what are you rating this whack movie? On our couple scale.
What's our 2?
Our 2 is Anastasia and Christian.
I'm going to give it a low Anastasia and Christian.
Samesies. I wanted to give it a 1, but I thought the movie was funny at times.
Yeah,
so,
a couple of moments where I snickered.
I laughed more than a couple. I thought the movie was funny, but everything around the humor was so bad, it makes me want to give it a 1, but it don't deserve a 1. It deserves a low 2, aka a low Anastasia and Christian, so...
Whoopi has some funny moments.
She needed to be in the movie more.
Yeah, she did. She actually had some funny moments. I was kind of surprised.
I mean, she did. She powered through with the whack humor that they gave her.
Yeah, she did. She did all right.
Because they gave her some bad jokes.
But she did all right.
But all right, so that's Nobody's Fool. You ready?